Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. Under center, it's the 2017 Heisman Trophy winners. You get a look at Baker Mayfield.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now a throw for the left sideline, and he's got it. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Danielle Hunter in there for a big milestone in this game. That's sack number 198 of his career. Ties him with Hall of Famer Reggie White for second place all time. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hey, Orbit! Signal out!
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings! Miles Boykin, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. Well, look now at our starting defense. They're currently 6th in the NFL in defending the run.
This is a unit that understands what needs to be done to stop the run. And they're a team that goes out and executes as well. Yeah, it's the mantra, stop it, but then going out and getting it done. 2 different things. They combine them.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And able to find Deshaun Hamilton complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 1st down, Lions on a pickup of 13.
1st down, Lions.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. On second down, Johnson. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. And this belongs to the Vikings.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Hard.
Check 37. Second and 10. That'll be complete to Cook.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Out of the gun now on third down. This will be caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. In for the score. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. So on third and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet. And try.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Danielle Hunter, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. From the gun, Mayfield. Well, the pressure gets to him again. Harrison Smith on the safety blitz, able to get the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here comes the Lions punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this will be down just inside the 30-yard line. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
And it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
Rock it. Hatch it.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Now, partner, I'm not really sure what in the world they were thinking on 4th and long there at this stage in the game, but you think social media may be firing up a little bit right now?
Oh, the coach is trending right now. All right, there's no doubt about it. People are wondering what that decision was.
On first down, it's Johnson. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. On second down now, it's Johnson. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, his second touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
And look at this. They come right back with a big shot downfield. Touchdown, Vikings! A big play there with his 13th touchdown of the year and second of the game. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. Extra point right down the middle.
Well, that is certainly a deflator right there defensively. Their guys just came off of a touchdown drive. They're back in the game, and then bam, they give up a touchdown 1 play later. How about that?
And the momentum, which seemingly had shifted the other direction, thought we might be seeing a comeback. That momentum right back the other way.
Well, that is certainly not complimentary football that we saw right there. The defense is supposed to help their offense, not give up another touchdown.
They go play action here on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Mayfield. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. The Lions on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Mayfield got his man there. It's Wallace complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
They'll run on first down. Johnson. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Johnson, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they contained him very well. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense, because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. You might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
24 is the mic. Leo. You better break. I'm letting you know right now. Go.
They'll drop the throw. Looking left side, and it's complete.
Let's go.
What a first half this has been offensively. I mean, defensively, what do you do when you're getting torched like this?
No, these receivers are absolutely wearing them out. So 2 thoughts come to mind. 1, get some oxygen. You fill up your lungs a little bit. And number 2, talk to your guys up front. You need a pass rush to help slow them down.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
They'll set up to throw. He's going to fire one deep. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So out now come the Lions. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. A first down throw from Mayfield. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Throwing, Mayfield. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try to put some points on the board.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Mayfield with it once more. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter.
They're not ready for this. They still playing.
2nd and 1. That throw right sideline is complete. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Well, that certainly changes things.
Yeah, I think the thought process is they take this lead into the locker and run something simple here and run the clock out. Instead, they get the big play. Now they have a chance to increase what they've done in the first half.
Looking to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, and they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
61, Matchbox Lights.
They'll run with Cook. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal.
Ringo.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. That time a 6-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep him warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll just burrow his way back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll start with the battle for the Meadowlands. The New York Giants as the home team taking on the Jets Jets. And it's the Giants who are out in front in the second quarter. The Giants still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they couldn't get the job done as they fall to the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. Finally, let's get to Philadelphia. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And right now they have the lead over the visiting Dolphins. The Eagles trying to finish that one off and claim victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 65 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. He'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Trying to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Back to throw here. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender is making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Watch twins.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Now on second and 13. Mayfield. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 25-yard line.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he would then go into a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
They get just a yard back there, and now they'll be looking at a tough 3rd and 15. 3rd and long for Mayfield. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Danielle Hunter in there for a big one. That is sack number 200 for his career. It ties him with Bruce Smith for the all-time NFL record.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Was a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards. So many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower in order to make that distance, and you also have to be worried about the interior rush that they can.
That's caught inside the 20. A big pickup of 38.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Miles Boykin with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year, as his guys continue to pour it on. Point after try forthcoming. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23. Make it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
From just shy of midfield, Mayfield. Open man here is Hamilton. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Third and short yardage. Mayfield. He's got his man. That's Wallace. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Lions gain a bit of respectability.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College. Not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs. I knew every note to their school's fight song.
Bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
Here we go. Shoot. Ready.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards, the final tally. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Get off the field. Rock it. Shoot. Fight.
They'll look to throw here. Wide open receiver, complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there for Minnesota. 49 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Mayfield looks to throw underneath for Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. Mayfield now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Now Mayfield lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute with it.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Hey, foxtrot. Get it.
Now back to throw. And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by one more. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. On 2nd and 12, Mayfield. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd down and 12. Mayfield to throw it. He's able to find Wallace. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. Here comes the Lions punter now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook, and he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Hey, high 7. Squeeze.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And all the way to the opposite 49-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9". Hey, Echo. Let's make these go.
They'll set up a throw. He's going to fire one deep. He's got it at the 15. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This
but
is one of our guys.
She's singing too.
Oh, she's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches, be honest, don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw, Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Mayfield down. And he's going to go down again. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside.
It's our field. It's our field. Hey, it's our.
From the gun, Mayfield. Got his man there. It's Wallace complete. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be 4th down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Here's Mayfield. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Minnesota, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Lions, things are definitely going south quickly.